Why smart people stay broke and dumb people get rich? It sounds harsh, but look around.
Even left a check for $25,000.
Forbes is out with its annual list of billionaires.
Knock it off!
This one mindset quietly kills wealth.
You probably know people that have not finished even high school or went to college or university, know little about running a small business, yet they own multiple properties and are doing very well, while someone else who graduated university knows everything about financial theories, maybe has multiple degrees, and they're still waiting for the right time to invest or what to do to even get started. Sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's not. Now, before I get started,
I get angry comments.
I want to go over what I characterize as dumb. I'm simply using this as a representative of a person that's maybe not a financial expert, a genius, maybe a person that doesn't have all the facts, and lumping it in all together. Of course, many people aren't dumb, but they're just not experts, but somehow they've succeeded financially. But why? In today's economy, with everything exploding, cost of living, housing, inflation going up, it matters more than ever, and people are struggling to build wealth.
Now, the legend goes that Hastings was upset at having to pay $40 in fees.
Among them, a former Disney World greeter.
Familiar faces on this year's Forbes richest list, there's a new billionaire. This woman, Sarah Blakely.
Yet, it's not intelligence that builds wealth. It's action, timing, and confidence. Prime example of this is, well, the movie Forrest Gump.
The Forrest Gump paradox.
Forrest Gump, a person who is, well, mentally challenged, and society right now wouldn't consider smart. However, he did remarkably well, if you think about it. He succeeded in so many things, did more than most people.
So I went again, and I met the President of the United States again.
And became known as, well, an action getter. He just took charge and did things. But why did Forrest Gump succeed? Well, he didn't overcomplicate things. He just didn't sit there and think about and wait for the right timing. He just did. He acted. He ran when he felt like running. When someone told him to invest, he invested. He acted on his instincts, and he ended up a millionaire. I find it odd and, well, ironic that Forrest Gump was played by Tom Hanks, who I consider as one of the most introspective, intelligent, and thoughtful actors of our time. Like, if you've ever heard him behind the scenes and how he speaks, he is actually so knowledgeable. It's just food for thought, something I noticed.
Why smart people stay broke.
Number one, they overthink everything. But throughout the movie, you'll notice there's so many scenes where people are questioning him or saying, I wouldn't do that. What are you, dumb? Are you crazy? Are you stupid?
Crazy? Or just plain stupid?
Are you stupid or something?
And it's like, he just did it. He didn't listen to anybody. He trusted his instincts and just took action. And sure enough, months, years down the road, people are like, how did he do that? I can't believe this guy. Like, he's actually doing it. He listened to himself and just acted. He didn't wait, rethink his decision, and just trusted his instincts. Often smart people, or maybe the everyday Joe, want the perfect plan, to have the perfect timing, wait, make sure everything is right before, say, they invest. Whereas a dumb person will just see something, research it a little bit, and go for it. Now, of course, I'm not saying you shouldn't put research or some time and effort if you're thinking about researching a stock. Waiting, questioning yourself, not having confidence in your abilities, you'll never find the right time. I'm guilty of this myself. I am no way saying that I didn't do this. When I'm video editing, say, I used to worry about every single little edit, and I'd sit and wait and think, okay, this edit has to be perfect. Oh, this picture isn't quite right. I need the right transition. All this stuff nobody cares about, really. They care more about the information that I'm delivering. And I was chasing perfection rather than good enough. Aaron just put it out there. Good enough, it'll never be absolutely perfect. If you just start acting today, that is far more valuable than waiting a week until everything is perfect. A good plan today is far better than a perfect plan a week from now. Number two, they chase complexity. Many people, some poor, some rich, some average, think building wealth has to be really complicated and you have to know all these theories and everything. No, you don't.
Do you know what covered calls are? If not, don't worry about it. Ben Felix, a respected finance content creator, just came out with a video explaining why covered call ETFs usually perform worse in the long run than regular ETFs, as they cap the upside but have no cap on the downside. They just aren't necessary for long-term investments.
The majority of wealth that is built is through boring, time and tested true strategies. Sure, there's the odd person that got rich with crypto, but there's about 1,000 other people that went broke. If you stick to tried and true proven strategies, you'll often come out ahead. This is what the rich people use to build and accumulate wealth and assets. It's just boring old strategies that have worked for 50 years. There's no get rich quick scheme. That's why scammers, you'll often see videos saying how I got rich and made $10,000 a month. And if you want this strategy, watch my video, click the link and sign up for my course. Right. Those often 99% of the time are scams. They have the fear of being wrong or failure. Intelligent people are so used to succeeding that they're scared of making a mistake, so they hesitate or wait. They have tied success to their identity. Forrest Gump didn't tie it to his identity at all. He just went forward and did it. He wasn't afraid of failure, and if he failed, well, he got back up and tried something else. Don't let failure keep you back. This is why you'll often hear about, do A students often work for C students? Well, oftentimes, yes, because a C student has tried so much but failed very often, whereas an A student is usually accustomed to succeeding. Some A students are focused on knowledge and high-paying jobs, but are hesitant to take risks, while C students are often visionaries, innovators, not afraid to take risks, bend the rules, or fail learning by experience to build assets. In case we haven't met, I'm Aaron, a 20-year corporate accountant and analyst living in Western Canada. I talk about personal finance, investing, and investment portfolios. Subscribing to me won't get you financial freedom, as many people and content creators promise. However, if you want honest, transparent, intelligent, and I hope entertaining information, consider subscribing to my channel. I've also created a membership where, in addition to some great perks, you'll be supporting this channel, which would be much appreciated.
Homer Simpson. Homer Simpson's surprising success comes down to one simple habit: he tries. He jumps into new jobs, ideas, and risks without waiting for the perfect plan, and those attempts, whether messy or lucky, lead to real experience, unexpected opportunities, and results. Over time, that active streak produces more wins than brilliant analysis that never leaves the couch. Consistent action and a tolerance for failure often outpace intelligence that is paralyzed by doubt. Homer's story is a reminder that progress belongs to the doer, not the thinker who never takes the leap. The dumb advantage.
Now let's talk about the dumb people, the people who seem to get rich while many others stay broke. What are they doing differently? They don't wait for all the data. They test something and it feels right, they go for it. They don't have 20, 50 different spreadsheets with all this data overload. They just go for it. They start taking action immediately when they see the opportunity arise. They act fast. They simplify things. They stick with what works. Cash flow, hard work, real assets. If they don't understand index funds, they'll try something else. They'll get a rental. They'll start a small business. They'll get real assets on their side. They'll move on from what they don't know to what they do know. They focus on results, not theory. They don't worry about financial conditions in the market or macroeconomics. They care about whether the bills are paid, there's money left over, and if they're acquiring assets. Forrest Gump became wealthy not because he was brilliant, but because he trusted in his action over analysis. He wasn't chasing perfection, he was living in motion. Become a master of just a few things. Repetition and knowledge in a few key areas will yield much higher results than trying to be a jack of all trades. I fear not the man who knows 1,000 kicks, but I fear the man who knows one kick and has done it 1,000 times. Bruce Lee. This quote by Bruce Lee obviously means that he prefers mastery and in-depth knowledge of a few key areas of focus rather than broad, shallow strokes over various different skills.
A large Swedish study that followed nearly 60,000 men found that while higher intelligence generally leads to higher income up to a certain point, this pattern reverses among the highest earners. In fact, those in the very top income brackets tended to have slightly lower measured intelligence than individuals in the upper middle range. Researchers suggested that extreme financial success is often driven less by raw intellect and more by traits such as ambition, persistence, risk-taking, and social skills. The study highlights that success at the very top often comes from entrepreneurship and leadership qualities, rather than cognitive ability alone, challenging the idea that intelligence is the main driver of wealth.
Real-world examples.
Real-life world examples. We see this all the time, such as the mechanic who randomly just started flipping cars and is now making huge profits. The single mom who spontaneously started making crafts at home in her basement and is now turning a healthy monthly profit. The immigrant family who decided to open and purchase a property to open a restaurant got in at the right time and now has customers lined up around the corner for their native dishes that they offer that aren't available anywhere else in the market. Meanwhile, a university graduate is sitting there analyzing stocks, waiting for the perfect time to get into the market to make it big and make millions. That's the power of momentum and starting today.
Many of the world's most successful people built their fortunes not through superior intelligence, but through persistence, courage, and a willingness to act. Richard Branson left school at 16 and built the Virgin Empire through fearless risk-taking. Elon Musk entered industries he knew little about, from rockets to cars, and learned by doing. Oprah Winfrey turned empathy and storytelling into a global media powerhouse without formal business training. Walt Disney faced repeated failures, but never stopped creating, ultimately building one of the most recognizable brands in history. And Rachel Ray became a household name in cooking despite never attending culinary school. Their stories prove that wealth often rewards action and resilience, not just intelligence.
In today's economy, where opportunities move fast, inaction is the biggest risk.
The economy has changed.
We are living in one of the most unforgiving financial eras ever. Housing is nearly unattainable, wages are stagnant, and inflation punishes savers. If you wait for the perfect time, you'll be waiting forever. That's why dumb people are actually winning. They don't wait for the perfect time. They see an opportunity, they jump in, learn on the go, and adapt on the fly. You don't need to be a genius. You need consistency, resilience, and courage.
Takeaways.
Here's what you can learn from Forrest Gump and the so-called dumb money. 1. Start before you're ready. Perfection is an illusion. 2. Simplify. Focus on income, savings, and real assets, not financial jargon. 3. Act small, but think long. Consistency compounds faster than brilliance. 4. Detach ego from money. Being right doesn't make you rich. Being consistent does. It's not about being smart. It's about doing smart things and doing them over and over again. Consistency and resilience are key. On a personal note, you'll be glad to know that I've drastically shortened up my editing time. I realize that not everything has to be perfect, right? If I kept chasing perfection and saying, oh, I got to tweak this, and suddenly what a video should have taken 10, 15 hours to make, I'm not kidding you, it took 30, 35 hours for 200-300 views, and it's kind of a waste. But once I started doing it and just repetition, you learn, you know what, good enough, just send it out. Nobody cares about perfection. So to wrap it all up, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do some research or look into things and do a proper little bit of analysis. What I'm saying is, don't wait for the perfect time to get started, because inaction is actually the biggest killer. Just start and you'll learn by doing. So the best way to start investing or learning about personal finance isn't to read a whole bunch of books. It's actually start and learn on the fly. I'm not saying go and dump $10,000 into one stock. I'm saying buy one stock, buy one index fund, kind of study it, see what you learn, what works, what doesn't work for you, and then just keep doing that over and over, and you will learn this. If you got something out of this video and you want more transparent, honest information from a 20-year corporate accountant, consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to have you. And check out my membership. Like I said, you get a lot of great perks, and I'd love to get the support on this channel. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out 2 of these other videos recommended by the YouTube algorithm.